Coming up on Mountain News this morning, new legislation will work to increase literacy rates and provide a dedicated reading research center in Kentucky. And soon the customers' rights for air travel will be changing, with some saying it's for the best.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. We are coming up on 6 a.m. on Tuesday, June 4th. Now let's go on ahead and check in with meteorologist Mace Michaels for a look at your forecast this morning.
Hi there, Olivia. Good morning. We are checking out the area with temperatures in the 60s and foggy spots to talk about. Our Whitesburg camera here noticing a little bit of fog in the distance. Not a real thick fog by any means, but it is definitely there for us. And here in Hazard, we've seen the visibility drop down just a little bit. Some low clouds and fog trying to develop, but it's not a real thick, locally dense fog, so not causing any travel problems, at least here in Hazard. But watch out, Jacksboro, Middlesboro, your visibility's down to near 0 to a quarter mile, and Ashland visibility now at a half mile with a 64 temperature. So we'll run into some locally dense pockets of fog. Otherwise, again, mainly 60s with a few 50s towards Wise, Clintwood, and also around the Grundy area. Our sky is generally sunny to partly cloudy, or at least it will be as the sun creeps up higher. We'll see a few more clouds later this afternoon like we saw yesterday. A couple of storms popping up as well. Looks like our high temperatures today will warm up into the mid-80s for us once again. Olivia, we'll look at those rain chances down the road in the forecast in just a little bit.
All right, Mace, thank you. School boards across the nation have important financial decisions to make as a deadline to spend federal funding approaches. As a result of the pandemic, schools received millions of dollars to help them limit the impact of COVID-19 in the classroom. If schools have any money left over, they have until September 30th to spend it, which could leave an impact on their budget. Superintendent of Perry County Schools Kent Campbell says with the deadline in mind, it is important they have a backup plan.
It'll be hard losing those funds, but it will not impact. We had a plan developed, and it will not impact the future of our district. And we're going to meet students' needs no matter if we have an additional $16 million in funds or not.
One of the things Campbell says they use the funding for is instructional coaches, and with that funding gone, Perry County Schools went from 7 instructional coaches down to 3. State education leaders are trying to increase literacy rates across the Commonwealth. 2 Senate bills helped spur the initiatives. Kelsey Soto takes us to Bourbon County for a closer look at some of their efforts.
In order to avoid that dreaded summer slide or learning loss, experts recommend students read at least 20 minutes per day.
A lot of times when I sit down to read, I like to learn about our history. I like to learn about where I came from. For you, it may be about learning more about your grandparents.
Dr. Robbie Fletcher is the incoming Commissioner of Education. He and Representative James Tipton spent the afternoon sharing stories with children. It's part of the Summer Boost Reading and Mathematics program, which is now offered in 29 districts across the state.
Each participating district is receiving about 1,000 books to distribute to their students free of charge at their summer feeding sites. What a partnership between literacy, math, and nutrition.
Lawmakers say getting bills passed on the issue has been a challenge. It took several years and a lot of work to get Senate Bill 9 back in 2022 and Senate Bill 156 last year across the finish line.
Well, this will be a slam dunk. This will be really easy. Everybody should believe in the idea that all kids should know how to read by 3rd grade. But that wasn't to be. We had some politics. We had some funding issues. We had to convince our fellow members that, hey, this is a good idea.
One of those provisions includes a 5-year partnership with the University of Louisville for a statewide reading research center. Leaders believe it's the first step in getting all Kentucky children lifelong literacy skills. In Bourbon County, Kelsey Soto, WKYT.
Dolly Parton's Imagination Library is expanding its reach in Kentucky. The program is now offering free books to children from birth to age 5 in every zip code. The program ensures that all children, regardless of their family's income, have access to high-quality books. Yesterday, Governor Andy Beshear revealed what he says is the single largest housing announcement in the history of Kentucky. $223 million to build more than 900 affordable rental units across 4 western Kentucky counties that were hit by historic 2021 tornado outbreak. The governor is saying the money will help people where FEMA did not.
You've heard me say it 1,000 times, but we will be there until this job is done. We will continue to find ways to help people rebuild. But there is always a piece that FEMA did not cover and would not cover that concerned all of us, and those were rentals.
The state pooled financial resources from 7 different funds to create the more than $223 million to build 953 affordable rental units throughout Graves, Christian, Warren, and Hopkins counties. TSA reported 5 of its busiest days ever happened this last month. Experts say it's a sign of travel ramping up this summer season. If you're planning a trip, you should know your rights when it comes to traveling by air. As Samantha Valentino shows us, those rights will soon undergo major changes.
Airlines all have different sorts of rules when it comes to what they offer for canceled flights.
You can compare policies from the 10 large domestic airlines on the U.S. Department of Transportation's website. For example, if you experience a controllable delay of 3 hours or more with any of the major domestic airlines, you're entitled to a meal or meal voucher. A controllable delay is anything the airline can control, including maintenance or crew problems, fueling, or cabin cleaning. AAA says it's important to know what your airline's policies are before you fly, since they all vary.
That's all going to change for fall travel. We're going to see the rule go into effect where we will see consistency across airlines.
New rules from the Biden administration will take effect this fall. They set specific guidelines for when airlines have to provide refunds. If your flight is canceled or significantly changed and you choose not to accept alternative transportation or travel credits offered, you're entitled to a refund. Significant changes include departure or travel times by more than 3 hours domestically.
Until then, I've been telling people, make sure that you download your airline's app, look for what they offer should your flight become delayed, because we are still seeing a lot of delayed and canceled flights. And so that's important that you know before you go what you're getting into, what you might be offered.
In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
Starting this fall, the U.S. Department of Transportation's new rules for airlines regarding refunds will take effect. During the summertime, churches across the nation host Vacation Bible School. New Salem Baptist Church in Laurel County goes above and beyond for VBS each year. From 6 p.m. until 8:30 p.m., church officials are taking it underwater for children in grades preschool through middle school. VBS coordinator Missy Vyers says they want to teach the Word of God to kids in a fun way.
It's the time of year that we focus solely on every child in the community, and it's most important that we as a church reach our children. They are our future generation, and we have to tell them about Jesus. We are a mission-minded church, and that is our goal.
With decorations throughout the church, including balloons, a blue hallway, and more, students have quite the week ahead of them.
Some clouds in the area this morning, but not really too many of them. You take a look here on our Moorhead camera. It looks pretty decent. Sunshine peeking through those clouds. Some nice temperatures in the area. It looks like it should be pretty pleasant through today. As you take a look at our WYMT camera here right up above Hazard, looks good as well. A little hazy in a couple of spots, but most areas will see that sunshine here over the next few hours. We'll burn out that fog. Quarter-mile visibility, Middlesboro, Jacksboro, our visibility near zero. But most areas here, not too bad on the visibility side. Ashland, your visibility right around a half mile. Our temperatures are in the low to mid-60s throughout the area. The sky, again, partly cloudy. Not too many clouds to talk about other than those few foggy patches here for this morning. Here's your out the door forecast. We'll get you through the 60s and 70s this morning for the temperatures and up into the 80s for later on this afternoon. Isolated storms on the way for us, Olivia.
Thank you, Mace, and thanks for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. When we return, Netanyahu faces increasing pressure for a ceasefire in the Israel and Hamas war after officials say 4 more hostages were found dead.